Hello everyone, welcome to update 0.5.0. Just a few things to cover here, mostly things in the editor, but a few things in practice mode as well. So first off, you will finally be able to see the different colors of the same type of bullet in your drop down up here. So that'll always be available, and this will update as you change it in the color settings window. If you have a whole bunch of bullets and you don't want to manually select them all, you can actually click the first one, hold shift, and click the last one, and it'll highlight everything in between. That works between layers. It works in either direction. It also works for bullet anchors as well, and it also works for, well, if we had more, we'd be able to select them all. So you can see shift click selects everything there. So that's all a good time saver right there. Another thing we have is dynamic event view. So you can see this used to not be visible. In fact, it used to look like this. So if you had any value above what was determined to be the minimum and maximum value on your events page, now you can see that with Control E. You can toggle between. Also, it's available at settings, visuals right here, dynamic event view. So very useful, and you can make this value, 10,000, like whatever you want. It'll still display it all just fine. Next thing we have is a brand new bullet, and that one is called Rubber. This is the final bullet of Soundodger 2 that's being added. If you ever wondered why there was this extra spot right here, that is because that is now the Rubber bullet. So it is right here. It's the same as the rest as far as how you color it. You can have up to 4, just like always. Rubber bullet bounces. So by default, it will have this new section that's called bounces and friction. So one box is bounces, the other is friction. The first one is how many bounces until it disappears. So right now default is 3. So if you watch it here, it'll bounce once, and you can kind of guess it's going to bounce twice, a third time, and then now it's going to disappear. Bam, just like that. So we can set this to as many bounces as you want. If you do -1, that's a little secret there, or I think any negative value. So this will just bounce forever until either the end of the level or you have a clear event that gets rid of it. So that'll bounce forever. The friction is pretty cool. That is how much it changes speed every time it bounces. So right now 1 is, it's kind of like a multiplier. So 1 is no change. If we do 0.5, and we'll speed it up a little bit so we don't have to wait, you'll see it's going to slow down each time. So it comes out at 8, goes down to 4, and it's going to bounce forever. It's going to go down to 2, so it goes slower and slower and slower. You can also multiply it. There's 3, so now it's going to go 3 times faster each time it touches. And I do have a maximum speed right there. It reaches very quickly of 10,000. I just kind of put that in, or else the game kind of breaks. So once they hit that maximum speed, they're kind of done. So if you want to multiply it gradually, of course, something closer to 1 is more appropriate. So here's 1.25, so you're going to see it go a little bit more gradually as it picks up speed. And you can do this with any number of bullets, right? We can have 20 bullets with a spread that goes out here. So now you're going to watch them all kind of do their thing as they make cool patterns going around, and then we'll speed up. The ones that get their bounces earlier speed up faster. Looks kind of ridiculous. That's pretty cool. So what I like to do is actually do like a 0.8 or something like that, and I will turn on gravity, and we'll get to watch them bounce. So the cool thing is they actually bounce off of the arena itself. You can even put, let's see, we can put a dome right there, and we'll move it off a little bit, off to the side. Okay, here's a dome. See what that does. It reflects off of that. Of course, if this was a soft dome, it would go right through. So same rules apply like all other bullets. So cool stuff you can do with the rubber bullets of how they bounce off of things. Next thing we have is power-ups, and so we can just turn them on here to test. But if we have, for example, slow, you'll see it's a lot different looking than before. We have to be in full screen to test it. If we do that, you can see it's twice as large now. It lasts a lot longer, and you'll see the cooldown is a lot faster as well. So all power-ups got buffed across the board to make them more enticing for people to use. Shield is kind of the same thing. Blast is kind of a buff in the other direction. So now it only takes 1 second to go away, and it's already cooling down. So you can use that a lot more often. You'll also notice that Blast and Zip have a dotted line when you use them to kind of let you know that you, in fact, are not getting protected. The circle's just to let you know where the center was. And so I kind of do this, it'll work. There we go. Zip lasts a lot longer. You have a longer window to wait until you have to use it again. And then the cooldown is also faster. So all across the board, power-ups are all much better. Another thing you can do is stack filters, which is pretty cool. Before, you used to only have one filter at a time. For example, here in a previous version of Soundodger, once the ticker got here, it would switch to maritime and accent would be gone. But now you can combine as many as you want. So here you have accent coming on and there's maritime, and then they kind of fade out. So to see like what one would look like, here's maritime turned off with just accent. Here's both of them turned off, and here's accent turned off. Wait. Accent turned off with just maritime. So anyway, you can add as many filters as you want and have a bunch of crazy effects happen. So have fun with that. Another thing that was added is more of an accessibility thing, and that is in options. If you go to gameplay, this can be turned on or off at any time in the editor or even in the middle of a level that you're playing. That's the arena guide that's been added. So with the arena guide, you now have a dotted line that stays always aiming at the top or wherever that first enemy is going to be. So if you hit play here, you'll see the arena's not spinning at all, is it? Here, let's have it spin a little bit better than that. Okay, so we'll have it spin, and you can see the arena guide is always pointing to that beginning. So maybe you're trying to dodge a pattern and you want to stay exactly at one spot on the arena. It's very easy to do that now. You'll always know which way is up. However, this will, I guess, break the illusion if you're doing a lot of arena angle resets and things like that. But anyway, this is to help you be able to stay in one spot as the arena is spinning, and you can kind of have a sense of when it slows down and speeds up, just to help you out a little bit. The last thing I want to show in the editor is an upgrade to bookmarks. Now in practice mode, you can have practice points, as they're called, and that is done via bookmarks. So by default, the bookmarks will not appear in practice mode, but now they have this new toggle called practice point. If you click that, you'll notice they now have a P on them, let you know they're practice points. You can also do that shift click trick. So if I hold shift and click here, it'll select all of the ones in between, which is very quick to select them all. So these are all practice points. I will save. We will go to the test, and we'll switch to practice mode, and you'll see a few things happening. So first off, you can see that you actually get an audio preview for wherever your mouse is. As long as you just stop moving, it'll start playing. Once you move into each zone that's labeled with your bookmark, you can see which label you're in, so you can move between chorus, verse 1, and outro. They also respect the same colors of the bookmark, so you can colorize them as well. And again, if you just stop moving, you'll be able to hear a preview for anywhere. If you want to start right at the beginning of each one, you don't have to actually move your mouse precisely. If you just mouse wheel up, you'll go forward. If you mouse wheel back, you'll go backwards towards the center. So very easy to jump between them with your mouse wheel. And obviously from here, you just click to begin exactly where you want it to be. There's the filters coming in. So that's about it for what's going on in this update. There's a whole bunch more things in the patch notes. Be sure to check those out. But anyway, happy dodging, happy holidays, and I'll see you next year.